Kristaps Porziņģis weighed in on Luka Dončić, who I think is the best prospect in the draft.
Really?
Said this many times and
I
many
haven't heard
times.
you say this at all.
And many.
You're high on Luka Dončić. Wow.
What the hell is wrong with you? I'm going for 2 weeks.
I pointed that out for the 2 weeks you were gone. I said, and Luka Dončić, who Rick is high on. Every time. It was like,
so which one is it?
Part of his name. No, I'm being sarcastic because obviously you're high on Luka Dončić.
Wait, you're a scout?
2 years.
So Luka Dončić was discussed by Kristaps Porziņģis, and here's what he had to say. Complex interviewing him, they asked, any guys in the draft you like? Maybe Luka Dončić? And he goes, from the draft, that's the player I know the best, seen the most, and I played against. I know him personally. There's no college kid that would be able to put up those kinds of numbers at the highest levels in Europe, playing against pros, grown men. And he's so young, he's 19. He's so young with such confidence, it's unbelievable. Rick Carlisle, NBA champion, had this to say, Dallas Mavericks head coach who landed Luka Dončić with a trade with the Atlanta Hawks where they swapped from 3 and 5. Rick Carlisle, we're very fortunate. Dončić is the guy we targeted in this draft. If there was any way possible to do it, we get a guy that we think is a franchise foundation piece. And then also, Dirk welcomed him, and that must have been awesome for Dončić to then have that. Do you agree with Porziņģis that he is maybe one of the more coveted players in the draft and more accomplished players in the draft?
He is, obviously. I mean, the accomplishments and the facts are just there. You know, he played professionally. He's won EuroLeague Finals, even MVP.
He was the MVP.
Come on. So those accolades are there. So you can say he's probably the most professionally gifted groomed guy, right?
Yeah.
So he's there. We don't know how it's going to pan out in the NBA. We just don't know. But we can assume that it will. I mean, we do that with college guys all the time. Some of them do and some of them don't.
Right.
There's nothing more about this.
But I'm not looking for middle ground from you. I'm looking for, do you think he's going to be worthy of the number 3 overall pick? Or do you think he's going to be a bust?
Sure. No, I don't think he's going to be a bust. But I don't think he's going to be Dirk Nowitzki. Put it that way.
Sure. 4 inches less, but I understand what you're saying.
I don't think he's going to be a Hall of Famer. Let's just put it that way.
I can't even say that.
That's what I'm saying.
Like
you want a hot
take?
There's a hot take. He's not going to be a Hall of Famer. In fact, he's going to be a middle of the road, normal NBA player.
Now, Shannon, let me tell you, Shannon, this Luka Dončić can play. Skip Bayless. So how I view him is that he is obviously the most coveted and most accomplished of any player in the draft right now. The fact that he played for the second best team that you could possibly play for outside of the NBA, and he won with them, he doesn't have to get by on quickness. Like, technically, James Harden doesn't get by on quickness. Right. He gets by on good handles. Manu Ginobili didn't get by on quickness, and he's a Hall of Famer. Tony Parker didn't get by on quickness, and he's a Hall of Famer. He can learn from all of those players and then institute what he has learned from respected players into his game, because he's going to be so good.
It's all based on his approach. How is he going to take it in? Because he seems like he's ready to do that. So take in whatever he needs to know about the NBA in the transition and apply it.
And on top of that, think about this. You have the Dallas Mavericks, who drafted Dirk, right? Who, by the way, I learned this past weekend, played with Dennis Rodman. Yeah. Mark Cuban brought in Dennis Rodman for like a very short time. A very, very short time.
Not either.
So they, unfortunately, are done with Dirk after this year. And then who do they have? Luka Dončić, another European, to take the reins. It's perfect.
Let's see if it works.
At least to me.